So in Final Cut Pro, we are going to be working on this video. It's a bridal preparation with short for PAROBRIDALS. You can check out their Instagram handle in my description below. So today, we are going to. There's a raw footage from a Canon 5D Mark II with a 50mm lens. It was shot on a flat profile, and yeah, as you can see, we have no details in this video, like less details there. The video is desaturated, is flat, and we don't have details in the shadows. So today what we are going to do is we are going to color correct and then color grade our videos for weddings and bridal preparations. So I'm going to go into my effects panel and then open color finale and drag it straight onto my video, and yeah, I start with my edit. So the next thing I'm gonna do is come straight into the plugin settings, and what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick up my white balance. I'm gonna balance my video well, and one thing I like about color finale is that it helps you to see where you're sampling and the colors and where you're sampling, the RGB colors there. And where I'm sampling, it looks quite even, so I'll prefer to pick this one, or you can pick anywhere from your dress, anything that is white, but I prefer this grayish part of the video. So yeah, just a sudden change because my video is actually white balanced already. Yeah, so now we head into the editing layers, and I'm gonna add a color wheel, and this is where the magic is gonna happen. So in this particular part, let's pick our hero shot. So let's say, so we are gonna use the scope to check contrast. Now I'm gonna drag the left down a bit. Make sure you don't go below the 0, because when you go below the 0 you lose your details. So I'll urge you to just always stay above the 0. I think about there is cool, so you can still have the details there. So before and after, just with this you have some contrast in your video. You can see some of the things popping out, and your bride is also popping out in the video. So the next thing I also want to do is bring down a little bit of the gain. Yeah, and bring up the gamma a bit. Mind you, make sure you don't pass the 100 here, the 100 scale here, or come below the 0 scale here. We don't want to lose any detail that is in the video. So right now I have my before and then my after. It looks pretty good now. So yeah, so I think about that. Now the next thing we are gonna do is work around our saturation. So I'm gonna add another color wheel. You can choose to name them, right? You can choose to name this, contrast. Then you can choose to name this, maybe you can choose to name this saturation. Yeah, so in saturation I'm gonna pull up the master saturation in the color wheel. So I'm gonna pull up this to, let's say, whichever number I'm comfortable with. Let's say 1.6. I'm cool with 1.6. So you can see we brought out the color. Wow, that's a massive work. So let's look at the before and after. This is a simple color correction you can do in all your videos, including this. Make sure you always shoot in a flat log so that you can preserve some details in your video. So yeah, as at now, I think this video is it's good to go. You can present this to your client and your client will love it. But then we want to do more touch up to the video, probably say work on the skin. So what I'm gonna do is come to my effects panel again and search mask. So I'm gonna draw a mask. I'm gonna apply this to, yeah, and it's applied. So we're gonna pick our hero shot again about here to pick out the skin. So I'm gonna draw the marks around her face because that is where we have more of the skin tones, right? So yeah, and there we have it. So I'm going to use our vector scope to check the skin. Now if you see the skin here, it's a little bit above the line. We always use the skin tone line to match the skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to open my edit layer again and add another layer called the hue saturation layer, and I'm going to name this skin. Let's name this skin. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pick up the hue saturation because we want to fix the skin. It should be, it could be on the line or on the left side of the line. So what I mean is we are going to pick the eye tool. I'm going to click on this. Now it is sampled where the colors are. If I drag this way down, you see what is happening. This is changing, it's moving towards the right, which we don't want that. So we are going to make sure it's either on or slightly above it. So this is how I think I like it. It shouldn't be too much, just settle, like very little change. Yeah, I now just delete the mask tool, which is this, just delete, and yeah, so we have our skin tone corrected. So let's do a before and after of the whole video. So this is before and this is after. It's a massive change, and as at this point, like I said, you can send this video out to your client. Your client will love it. So this is how I color correct my video. If you want to color grade, now you are going to add a custom LUT. So I'm coming to add a custom LUT. Yeah, so I drag this. So I'll drag this onto my video, and I already have my LUT imported, so I don't need to import the LUT again. If you have your LUT, you can add it up, but this is my favorite LUT I've been using for my wedding videos. So I click on this and boom, that's what happens. So you can see how the video looks like. At this point I can choose to leave it like this, but I'm going to drop the mixer a bit to, let's say, 0.4, and I think this is fine. So let's say before, after, before, after. So this is a very massive change when you add your LUT to it. You can choose to do it without the LUT, but I prefer, this is my style of edit. So yeah, I do this, and then my clients love it too, so I don't have a problem with that. So yeah, this is a basic way to edit your wedding videos or your bridal preparations. Now let's work on another video too, and the second video is this. Yeah, so there's a second video. So like the first one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna drag my color finale plugin here, and reach that. So the first thing I'm gonna do is add a layer and rename it, add a color wheel, rename it contrasts, and then create another one too and name it saturation. Yeah, then the next thing too you can do is add the hue, and then you name it skin. Right, so we come to the saturation, sorry, the contrast, and let's pick our hero shot about here. So I'm gonna drop the left, sorry, I have to bring back our scope so that we can monitor this very well. There's a lot of white in the shot, so you can see it clipping at the top. So we are just going to work on the details and bringing back some contrast to the video. So I'm going to drop down, yeah, about here, and you see just with this we even have some of the colors coming back in the video, right? Yeah, so before, after, before and after, that's a massive change. So the next thing I'm gonna do is bring back a little bit of the gain about here, still bring down too much. Let's maintain our 100 and let's clip this a little bit down. So our before and our after. Alright, so the next thing we do is add our saturation. This video looks a bit more saturated, so you go up just a little, say 1.2, and that is fine with me. So there's our saturation, that is fine with me. And before, and oh yeah, we forgot to do our color correction. So sorry, our white balance, which is very important. So here at this point you can still do your white balance. I click on this and yeah, the video is white balanced, and that's that. So before, after, before, after, this is a massive change in the video. So before, after, yeah. So yeah, so the next thing is the skin. The next thing we are going to do is the skin. So we are going to draw our marks again. So let me just close this for the meantime. Draw our marks, drag it to the video. Now draw it around her face. It doesn't have to be very accurate, we just need the marks. Now watch the scope here, it's actually bringing out, okay, so you realize that is actually shifting to the left side of the scope, the vector scope. So you want to balance it well because there's too much of pinky red stuff in her face. So we open layer again and we go to skin, select hue saturation, hue versus hue saturation, hue versus hue panel, and then we select the look. So click on that and yeah, pick the point and move it slightly, yeah. So about there, I think it's good. So let's see before and after, before and after, and yeah, I think that's cool with me. So now you can just delete your, let me hide this, you can delete your draw marks, and yes, this is our video. This is a basic edit. So now let's add our LUT. So we are gonna add our LUTs. So I drag my LUT to this and I open here and I add choco brown. So this is choco brown. I just want to drop it down because the video is, because of her skin, I'd want to drop it down so we can still have her skin popping out a little bit. So yeah, very subtle, but yeah, this is chocobo. Okay guys, so that's how I edit my wedding videos or my bridal videos. I use this technique for any other editing at all. So first of all, I shoot on my flat profile and I'm able to color correct my images. Then when I'm done, I use my LUT to give me or give out the look I want. And yeah, it's a done deal. So thank you for joining me in today's episode. I hope to see you in the next one soon. Until then, stay safe. Peace out.